I put this caption up, your red flag coach, not your dating coach, because man, I, I was looking through a couple of the lives earlier today, and there was a dating coach on there, which is cool. There's some really cool ones, some cool people, and they mean well. They want to, help out people. But majority of them are leaning towards men, helping out men in their journey on dating. So I'm not that, and I'm not ever going to be that. I may give some advice from things I've experienced, just like your regular buddy would be giving you advice. Maybe something you've heard new, maybe something you heard before. But on this, on with me, I want you to see the red flags before they happen. So let's go ahead and if you're watching the live stream later on, I want you to go ahead and comment down below what type of red flags you've noticed or you've experienced after, let's see. Ooh, let me go ahead and try. There we go. What red flags have you experienced or that you've learned in your marriage, in your dating, in your relationships or past relationships, or even in your current relationships? What red flags that you have experienced that are consistent, and you know that this is once you see this, you know that that's it. It's a red flag. The second thing I'm gonna talk about is, are we staying firm to our red flags and in what we need to do when it comes to red flags? Move this just a hair. There we go. There we go. So are we being committed to what needs to be done when it comes to these red flags? So first of all, let's talk about a couple of red flags. What are the most common red flags, right? Um, Someone's dating you and they randomly have different plans, or they got to go, or things change on the drop of a hat, and they just got to go. That's a red flag because obviously someone else catches their interest. You're not of the main interest to them, and they got to go, and there's something else that interests them. They'll come up with any excuse. 10 times out of 10, if it's a mother or a father, let's say you are a woman watching this and you experience this with fathers, we're not just leaning towards one gender or the other, although we do have a majority of the problem with females creating problems in relationships nowadays. Let's just get over that, get over it, get over your ego. That's what's happening nowadays in 2023. Um, so what are the main red flags? Is sorry, something just, I lost my attention over here. One of the things that kind of bothers people is when you are not keeping to your timeline, keeping to your schedule, and that's a major red flag. The major red flag is that they're just randomly checking out, or their things have changed over time, or we had plans, and why all of a sudden it's a change? That's a huge red flag. Someone else captures their interest, someone else has their main interest, and they would drop you or drop anything for that other person. They typically look at that other person as a higher value in their perspective, as a higher value. When they look at others as a higher value than you, they are looking at it from a surface level, the external. They're not looking at it from the internal. So you could probably bring the most love, the most respect, the most nurturing, the most protection, but you don't have the best car, the best house, and the largest amount of money. So they're looking at them as more valuable. Well, realistically, that person's more than likely not going to protect them, more than likely not going to love them and respect them, um, because they have a plethora of different women that they can give their time to. So that in itself is disrespectful. and they want to share and spread their love elsewhere, so they're not going to fully invest their love for you. Um, oop. So those are some things to consider when the person is not going to keep their schedule. They're not going to keep their appointment. They're not going to keep. They just randomly kind of want to dip out, or they randomly want to change plans, stuff like that. That's a huge red flag. We already know that right away. What are some of the smaller red flags? The smaller red flags are, for example, I mean, this may not be small. Some of them may be big to you. They may be things that you experienced. Um, the sudden they don't want you to wear protection during sex. They don't want you to wear protection. They don't want you. Um, they are kind of like they change. They kind of change when it comes to their sexual behaviors are very very different, and they change compared to the type of person that they are in the real world. And what I mean by that, that's okay. That's okay to have a different side of you when it comes to like your sexual behaviors, but you should have a balance. You should be like, okay, I see you as this person as you are in real life, but then you turn into a completely different human being when it comes to sex. That is kind of a red flag. It's like, okay, there's two different people here, there's two different faces, there's two different personalities disorders. And that's a huge red flag. Another thing is could be a cell phone usage. They're always on the cell phone. They're constantly on the cell phone, or they make the effort to try to hide their viewing of you or view towards you from of the cell phone. And not that that isn't of any importance to you, but you can start to notice it. It's obvious. I've been in a situation where like I ain't even tripping, but when you start making the efforts to try to hide the phone and stuff like that, that's just like, why? Like, well, what the fuck are you? Well, why are you acting like that for? Obviously, that's a red flag. Even if you don't care, it's obviously a red flag. Jay Z, what's going on? Hello, how you doing, man? I hope you're doing good. Um, and those are some very common, very simple red flags. Again, if you're coming in a little bit later, just comment down below some of the red flags you've experienced in relationships, and what are the red flags that you see to be a kind of a pattern or a problem that you've had in relationships, either in your current relationship, your past relationship, your marriage, or with girlfriends. Um, and are we staying firm to what we need to do when it comes to these red flags? Are we staying firm to them? Are we actually making the effort to be like, I'm out of here? Like, I'm not going to have that. I'm going to stay firm to these. All the best, brother. Love you, man. Thank you. I love you too, Jay Z. Jay Z, man, I hope you're doing well, man. I know it's been long, long time. It's been hard. The holidays are coming around too, Jay Z. Are you doing okay? I've been getting some of the messages from guys that the holidays are the hardest times. And do you have any family or friends? Are you actually reaching out to somebody? Are you taking some time to spend some time with some people? Just get out and just get out of your head sometimes and just be around some friends, or it's really important. I hope you are. I hope you do take some time. And if possible, I hope you're able to at least talk to some relatives or talk to some friends during the holidays, because it can be really challenging. It is for me. It still is. I am definitely not out of the clear when it comes to dealing with my own depression and my own stress. Um, and it kind of, but it's always a work in progress. I definitely work on it because I do miss my daughter so much, and it takes time. One of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight was red flags. I think one of the things that I noticed for myself, and I bring this up because of my own experience, is I started to notice red flags. I started to be keen to all right, this is not cool. This is the type of person she is, or this is the type of person alone for the holidays, more or less. It's hard. The memories flood in to fill the void. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Oop, they definitely do, man. And and it's hard because we want to remember the good memories. I wish all the guys out there strength. Don't give up. Don't give in. Yeah, man, that's good. Good. Keep it positive. Always keeping. It's hard, and it's a work in progress. We have to be consistent. We have to practice at it. It's almost like stress or depression or the sadness will always be there, and it lives with us in our mind. It's weighing on us, but we have to be stronger than it by being consistent in our best practices, being consistent in what we need to do in our own personal space, the way we need to cultivate our mind, and the things that we need to bring around us and build around us. It is consistency of building that strength of the stress that we're dealing with. And that's going to help us go further, get farther, survive and strive to continue to go beyond that depression, because that's what it is. It's depression. Um, One things that I made a big mistake when I started to notice red flags was not staying committed to my loan on the holidays. I feel like a freak, but you're right, Rocky. It takes discipline. Don't want to end up always alone. Yeah. Are you actually excuse me? Are you actually dating anybody? Have you met anybody? Do you have any is there anybody that you can like spend time with? And then like what part of the United States do you live in? That's yeah, that are you near family? That's one of the most important things. Are you near family or friends? Do you go to gatherings or like holiday parties for at your job, or with friends? Those are some things that you can think about. I actually have no one anymore, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my workplace holiday party, and I'm just going to eat some food, and because the food is free, and I'm going to dance a little bit and just be alone, and I'm okay with being alone. It sucks. It really does fucking suck. It sucks a lot, man. But I just made a choice a while back after constantly being in this darkest space of depression. I just made a choice. I just want to be happy. Like this is going to be a part of my life forever, and I'm always going to hurt about this and miss my daughter, but I just want to choose to be happy. And it's one day at a time. It's one day at a time. It takes time. It's not easy. I want to share a little side note with you guys right now. Um, I actually feel a little bit off right now. I actually had a pretty crazy migraine. Dating apps, vain women, demanding women with unrealistic expectations and values. Tell me about it. Yeah, I will follow your lead. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I respect you. I really means a lot to me. They do tell me about it. Yeah, these unrealistic expectations. I just want to share with you real quick. I had a migraine today. It was so massive, and I unfortunately have migraines that I have to take medication for them. They're so intense. I can be hospitalized. Before that happens, I typically take for my first dose, which more than likely will knock out my migraine within 30 minutes to an hour. If I need to, I take a second dose. Thank you. I will take a second dose, and if it doesn't go away by second dose, I'll have to go to the hospital. By then, I probably can't even get to the hospital because I'm just completely out of it. But I took my first dose. It's working really well, but I got to tell you, I feel a little bit off right now. I feel really kind of like My fingers are actually feeling tingly. My feet are feeling tingly. The tips of my fingers, actually the tips of my eyelids and stuff like that are kind of feeling kind of weird, and the tips of my lips also are feeling kind of weird. But it's from my medication. It's prescribed by my doctor. I don't take it all the time, thank God. You're not supposed to take it all the time, but in a dyer's need situation, I do take it. So I'm feeling a little off right now. One of the things I want to share with you, and I know Jay Z is this way, and there's actually many of you that are on here. And there's another gentleman that messaged me today. I know that he's an older gentleman. Um, One of the things that you should do is you should, thank you, man. I really, it means a lot to me. Thank you. One of the things that I would like you to do, if you could, is, you know, meet somebody. You do one of two things: meet somebody online, be flat out straight with them. Just be straight up with them. Look, I ain't gonna bullshit you. I don't even expect you to bullshit me either. And I just like to spend some quality time, even if it's just one time. Let's go out to this holiday gathering or something like that, or let's go have like a holiday dinner, or let's go out to see some, some Christmas lights or your city holiday event, and just go out and just have a conversation with a stranger. And it's okay. You don't have to go out and like wine and dine her and make it all like the greatest night ever possible. Just let her know that straight up, like, I just want your company. That's all I'm asking for. And I'm not going to be treating you like Cinderella. So it's no disrespect to you. I'm asking for your time. And in return, I'll give you my time. And if you're willing to accept, let's just go and enjoy some time together over here. And, with no expectations, and tell her I have no expectations. Don't give expectations. And at this point, I think I can speak for many of us, we're probably not even expecting anything from a woman, because you can't really expect anything from a woman these days. They just don't follow through or don't deliver, unfortunately. And so, wherever you want to think of that may be what come from, it doesn't matter. They typically don't. Even when trying to be a friend, right? And just trying to be like just trying to be like an opposite sex type of friend, or just being cool, or just enjoying the regular time. Many times they just don't follow through. I would highly recommend trying to see if you could just enjoy some time with a stranger and just enjoy a holiday event. If not, enjoy your holiday party from your work, or try to go out with a family friend and just reach out to a family friend and spend some time. And if it's your family friend, if it's a family member or a family friend, offer them the drink, offer them a meal. You just want their time, and spend some time with someone that has hold value to you in your life, that you care about. We need to get out of our heads sometimes. We need to create different conversations. We need to spark different spaces in our brain that we typically don't spark off. This is vital, because if I'm constantly going to work, coming back home and sitting in this chair, going to work, coming back home and sitting in this chair, and every time I come back and sit in this chair and I think of my daughter and I cry, and I go to work, go on my day, everything seems cool and hunky dory, and I come back to this chair and I think about my daughter and I cry. And I continuously do that over and over and over again. What happens is I'm creating uh, pathways in my brain. I'm training myself psychologically, and I'm creating pathways in my brain to reintroduce the stress and depression, and to be comfortable with it in that space. I am dulling the areas of creativity. I'm dulling the areas of joy and happiness. I'm training my brain and the chemistry of my body to not um, raise its level of norepinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, and other good hormones in your brain that are secreted in your pituitary. You are naturally training the chemistry of your body to go in depressive state, and that you feel comfortable with. Then you subconsciously will actually start to feel more comfortable in a sad state. Here's my chair. This is my regular spot. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to sulk and I'm going to cry. This is my comfort zone for my day. And that is unhealthy. We have to create these new patterns. We have to shake things up in there. We have to shake things up in the chemistry of our body and in our mind. We have to go to a new gym. We have to talk to a new stranger. We have to go, instead of going through the self checkout, maybe go through the register. Hi, how are you doing today? Good. Oh, I hope you have a great day. Just train yourself to kind of spew out some positivity to strangers, and then allow yourself to receive it. These things, we don't pay attention to these very small, minor things. But this is really, really important, guys. You are training yourself to be in this unhealthy state of mind and in comfortable with it over time. The body and the mind will get comfortable with it. And we can't do that. We have to tap into these new creative ways of doing things. You need to be creative. I never go to this gym. I'm going to actually go to this gym. I'm going to get into this machine I never tried before. Let me look at how it works and this and that. Let me figure this out. Okay, this is how I do this. And you start to tap into new, it's not just the muscle, it's the mind also. It's figuring new things out, venturing out, creating creativity, tapping into building these norepinephrine, serotonin, and these dopamine levels in your brain that are telling yourself, this is the way I should feel. This actually feels good. This is strange. This is a new area, but this feels good. These are the areas of your life that you need to tap into. And only you have control over doing that. Only you have control. I highly recommend do at least one of two things. Go out with a family friend or family member and pay for the meal, pay for a drink. Show them that you appreciate the value of who they are in your life and their time. And spend some time and talk with them. Ask them, can I spend some time with you? Can we just go over here and just talk? Just to talk. That's it. Just, can you give me like an hour? Or talk to a young lady or a woman on one of the dating apps and let them know flat out. I have no expectations towards you, and you shouldn't have any expectations towards me either. So don't you don't have to tell them this, but they shouldn't expect, at least throw the hint. Don't let's not no expectations either way. The energy flows both way here, honey. So don't expect a ring, flowers, the red carpet, and I'm not spending $1,000 on Merlot. It's not going to happen. So let's not have any expectations. Let's just enjoy each other's company. I'll appreciate the value of your company, and why don't you appreciate the value of my company? And let's go and enjoy a holiday event together. I think one of those two things would be great. And then just start tapping into these different areas of your life that you have control over. The gym, talking to strangers, going to different areas that you normally don't go to. Go shopping by yourself. Just, different things like that. Those things are really, really important. When you meet somebody new, I want to get back to what I was talking about. And you catch a red flag, and you see a red flag that kind of maybe that kind of for sure, oh, that's a red flag. I can't believe she just said that right now. Or how many babies does she have? Or mm, she just got divorced last month, and she wants to date me now, and it's been less than a month she's been divorced. Or she so happens to be living with her. I've heard this many times too. We're in the process of divorce. I'm still living with my soon to be ex-husband. She's cheating. She's cheating. She's lying. She is cheating on her husband, and she's married. She's happily going to go back home. She just wants to meet you for sex. So don't believe any of that bullshit. Oh, those are all red flags, and ah, those are all red flags. And one of the things that I did wrong is I didn't cut it off right there. Cut it off as soon as possible. It's not that you are doing something to show them. I'm going to show you and cut you off. That's a red flag. You deserved me to walk away, cancel this date, cancel this phone call, cancel this connection, this bond, this communication, cutting you off. I'm doing right by me, and I'm going to push you away. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with you not accepting bad behavior. You're no longer going to accept that is not tolerated. And you may sit in front of 15, 20 women. I'll put myself included. I've sat in front of at least 15, 20 women, and each of them showing me massive red flags, just non-negotiable. You cannot tolerate that. And if by you know how many times she's probably sat in front of 20 different guys at a date, and each of them have tolerated it, and she thinks it's okay. And she comes to you, and you're just one other chump in the bunch of chumps, and that's going to tolerate it and accept it. These women, with respect to the good ones, these women need to be told and called out on their shit. Okay? God is good, but these women need to be called out on their shit for real. This can't be tolerated. This cannot be tolerated. These are the same women, sadly, this is the same women that you see in church praying to God, consistent, showing how religious they are on social media, and parading it around, and still coming to you and thinking that you're going to, that you're right, that you're going to tolerate this bad behavior, this ridiculousness. No, that's ridiculous. You're not going to tolerate these red flags. Call them out on their shit. You're still married? You're living with him? What's wrong with you? Go home to your husband and fix your problems. Stop cheating on your husband. You're talking to a man to try to console your internal issues, and subconsciously make you feel validated in you coming out to seek out another dick. Well, think about that for a second. You need to go home. You need to be. You don't need to be talking to another man. You need to go home and talk to your husband, the one you're having problems with. That's where you need. That's what you need to fix. You don't need to fix it with another man in front of you or in you. You need to go home and fix that, because you have Tommy and Sarah laying in the room next to him, and he's over there waiting for you, for you to get home while you come out, which you were going to see your girlfriends from work. It's ridiculous. Yes, where's the humility? Where we are the humble women lives. I think they're all taken, maybe. Oops, hold on, I didn't read all that. The humble. There are no more humble women anymore. They're not humble anymore. Their values, they believe their values are isolated to their needs and wants. They're definitely no more humble women anymore. I would tell you, there is really good women that are actually on this page or on my channel. They'll watch some of my videos. They might do constructive criticism. They might rebuttal on some of the topics, And they also, they many times they say, thank you so much. And you're actually right. But even really, really good women nowadays are not humble. And the values that they believe that they hold, they're good for them. They're not good for a family structure. See, they value themselves. That's okay. You value yourself. But they don't see themselves as the value and themselves as the prize. What we fail to do as human beings is that once we create a family unit, we don't see the value in the family. They still value themselves over family. They value themselves over their partners, their husbands, or vice versa, over their wives. And in turn, by showing and they will all say they value their children. But if you're not valuing any part of the family unit, then you're not valuing your children. I value myself and I love my child, but my husband, no, you understand, the family is a unit. It's an engine. All pistons must be firing all at once. And if one is down, you're all down. And that's what they fail to see. So their values are isolated to themselves. They're not to the family unit. They will never see it that way. That it is no longer it is us. No, they don't see it that way. They see themselves and the feelings. The only time they get their feelings involved is their children. I love my child. My feelings are attached to my child. My feelings aren't attached to my husband. My feelings aren't attached to my boyfriend. My feelings aren't attached to this. I don't feel over here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let him have his feelings for me. I don't feel for him, but I feel and I love for my children, but I have my values. So there's no value in the family anymore. There's no value in the family structure anymore. It is not like we together work as an engine in a finely tuned engine and working and all pistons working together to create the strength and power of this engine. It's no longer like that. No longer like that. And not to be rude about it, they just breed them that way. They breed them that way. They really have a biological clock and they have a time set. There's a specific time set on their biological clock, and they just believe that they're not going to. Uh, they have to reach this level in life, and it's not going. And if they what they see to be their future, and if they don't see you're in line with their needs and wants for their future, they'll replace you because they're on a timetable. Their biological clock is ticking. They have the power to create life, family. You don't. So they have the right, because they have the power, they feel as though they have the right to change things in order to get to this certain level in life. And so that's why we need to back off. We have to stop having expectations, because you can't expect anything from a woman. You can't expect them to be your partner, to look at the same values of you, looking at the family as a complete unit together. You can't expect them to. They value themselves. They value their own values. They have the value within their needs and wants. Your needs and wants are not valuable to them, and they can care less. Um, so we really have to get over the fact that there there are real good, solid, wholesome, valued women out there. I believe there are. I know there are. And I know that there's some good parents out there creating some really good young ladies. And I believe in my heart of hearts that it's very rare. It's very rare. It's just, you're just not going to see it anymore. Um, with respect to women, if I had a bunch of women on here right now watching me, or at least one woman watching me, if I can speak to all women on earth, I would say, we love you, we appreciate you, we respect you, we adore you. You're failing us. Like, we don't want to fail you. If we come into a relationship, we don't want to fail our women. We don't want to fail our young daughters, our young children, our women, or the future of what women have to create for this world. But they're failing us, and they're failing the future of us. They're failing the strength of men. They're failing the greatness of men. They're failing us. They don't owe us anything. But again, why is it that we owe them protection? So we don't necessarily owe them anything, and they don't owe us anything. But if we need each other on earth to connect and bond and create and build, don't we owe it to ourselves to love one another? So we almost owe it to each other, which in turn owes it to ourselves. I don't know, guys. That's all I have to say for tonight. Hey, thank you so much for coming in here. I hope any of you guys can. Jay Z, thank you again for stopping in. I appreciate you. I know you're doing good. I know you're feeling good. I just want to end it real quick with a prayer. I love you guys with all my heart, all of you. And men and women, I wish the best for you. I wish greatness for you. Family is the prize. And we need to come together. We need to respect each other, love each other, appreciate each other, reach out to each other, especially during these holidays. And if you're alone these holidays, do things something special for yourself. Remember to learn to laugh again. Laugh again. No more crying. Reach out. Get healthy, healthy mentally, healthy physically. I love you guys with all my heart. And I hope and pray to God that your children come into your arms one of these days, and especially during the holidays, as you can hold them and hug them, kiss them, smell them, and cuddle them close in your arms once again. I love you guys with all my heart. God bless, and take care and have a good night.